What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp. It is June 28th, 2021. This is the Fightful Post-Raw review. We are joined by Denise Salcedo. Denise, how you doing?
Sean, so right now when we were talking, I didn't look at your outfit, and I just realized that we are matching.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're literally twins right now.
It's pretty close. Like, does the color of my shirt come through on screen?
It looks kind of pink on my end.
Yeah,
mine's a little bit more pinker, but like you can see the shades of it. And it was just like a second when you started making the introduction. I was like, oh, Sean's wearing a pink shirt. So am I.
It's like kind of pink. It's like if you left a white shirt with the colored clothes in there, it's that like shade of pinkish purple, whatever it may be. But here we are talking Monday Night Raw. We got lots of stuff to get into. Unfortunately, there were a bunch of releases last week. FightfulSelect.com has a bunch of exclusive news on that. Exclusive news on the writer that was also fired for admitting she didn't know much about wrestling on a podcast. We also have an exclusive story on Vince McMahon going to the Performance Center to scout talent. Make sure you check that out. All that news reported exclusively at FightfulSelect.com. You can also check out our magazine. Issue 3 is on the way. We sent it off to get printed just this, I think maybe today it was. You can go to FightfulMag.com for that as well. But here we are, Fightful.com, YouTube.com/Fightful. Got an interview tomorrow, Denise.
You do? Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nice, and I'm not gonna I'm gonna support you as a friend. Okay, and I'm going to support you and congratulate you on your interview.
Yeah, it's the Varsity Blondes. I got them. I interviewed them in Jacksonville. I broke the news on Fightful Select of what kind of shampoo that Griff Garrison uses.
Oh, I didn't see that. I need to find out what shampoo he uses. I can use that information.
The answer will shock you. It really will.
Oh my God, don't tell me he doesn't use any.
Oh, he does, but it's a shocking answer. That
Is it
interview
up already?
On Select it is. I can drop you the link. Don't worry, Denise.
Thank you.
But Brian Pillman Jr. competes for the TNT title this week. Also this week, AEW's Colt Cabana. And then on Sunday, I'm dropping an interview with the Patriot Del Wilkes. And don't worry, if you're concerned about all the psychotic shit that he writes on Twitter, he doesn't talk about any of that in our interview. It's all about wrestling. So Independence Day, we got the Patriot dropping on Sunday. I've had that interview in the can for about 9 months because after I did it, I said, when am I going to drop an interview with the Patriot? And then a couple weeks ago, I was like, Independence Day. There we go. If I don't drop it then, I never will. But leave your thumbs up. Donate your super chats. It'll get your question or statement right on the air. You're shaking your head, Denise.
It just drives me nuts. Like, it drives me nuts that you do interviews and you don't release them right away.
Listen.
It makes me crazy, Sean.
All due respect to Del Wilkes, the man, the athlete. What could he possibly say that's time sensitive, Denise?
Sean, I don't know, but it just
he has not wrestled in 24 years. What could he possibly have to say?
What he's been doing in the last 24 years? That's pretty interesting.
We're all good there. Get your super chats in, my friends. It's a very good interview. I'm very proud of the interview.
I was going to say you just buried your own interview, Sean.
No, it's a fantastic interview. It's awesome. I'm a great interviewer. He was a great interview subject. He talks about Bret Hart stooging him off. He talks about wanting to punch Tom Brady in the face. There's a lot of really good stuff.
You literally just said, what does he have to say?
No. What would he possibly have to say that's time sensitive?
Okay. See, you didn't emphasize that part. I was like, yes. Is Sean hearing himself right now? He's burying his own interview.
It's an outstanding interview. It's really, really good. We got people in the super chat saying, Sean, is it storyline or did Orton get hurt? I'm working to find that out. I'm working to find that out. I can't give away too much of what I'm. Look at this. GOI Kicks. They're making custom shoes for me after I've nagged them for years and years and years. CDust19 says, had a cyst removed from my lower back today, spending the rest of it eating pizza with ranch and watching this awesome show. FTF. You can't FTF while eating ranch. Sexy Peasant says, Denise, you're the best. What is this?
The people are finally realizing that Hollywood Salcedo, that DWO is the place to be. I mean, even look at you. You copying my wardrobe now, Sean.
No, Denise, my cat's better than you.
You know what, Sean? Cats suck, all right? I hate your cat. All of them. All 29 of them. However many cats you have.
Oliver the cat is going to take great exception to this.
Who the hell's Oliver the cat?
Oliver the cat is an artist.
No, Sean, you're going to become this like crazy cat ladies that are just
this
like,
is
oh my God,
is offensive. Cat. This is disrespect. Kate Hensler says I'm the Taylor Swift of voiceover work.
That's actually a very high compliment, Sean.
I would agree with that. The intangible one, Cliff Beard says, how much for Sean to interview Val Venus? Seems like they're such good friends. I will never interview that man. I got no reason to interview him at all.
Oh, come on. You know what? I should interview him just to tell him my story.
Yeah, you do that, bud. That won't get you heat with anybody on the internet. But
you know what, Sean? I don't care about heat. I care about clicks. I care about money.
You know what I care about?
Engagement and traction.
You know what I care about? Right here.
What?
Right here.
Oh, is that Oliver?
This is Oliver the cat.
Wait, did you literally text your wife to bring Oliver?
I didn't text her.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You totally did.
He walked in. He heard you talking that trash.
No, he did not.
Look at this superstar right here. Look, he's a Russian blue.
He's literally showing no star power whatsoever.
Oh my gosh.
He's not even meowing. He's not even saying anything.
He's cold and calculated. Look, he'll hop up on my shoulder.
Say something, Oliver.
He doesn't speak English, Denise. I know that's a shock to you. But look, super chat.
Shock to me.
Super chat for Oliver. Like, Denise, he's accomplished so much more than what you ever had done. Sexy Peasant says, bestie, I love cats. My cat Oscar is heartbroken. Let me show you something, Denise.
Cats are terrifying. You know, they're like literally like the devil's animal.
Oliver painted this today.
Bro, have you not heard the story of like cats that kill?
Look how excited he is about his work. Look, it even has his name on it.
He left.
Says Oliver.
He didn't even want to see his own work. Oliver was like, peace, bro.
He's like, it's not finished. It's not finished. We put paint down on this thing and put saran wrap around it.
Cats.
Let's mute Denise real quick. This is beautiful. We're willing to sell this to the highest bidder. Millions of dollars this thing is worth. Oliver the cat is just magnificent. He's looking at me. He's so happy to be here. For all you people, he's such a baby face. Matthew Makovsky says appreciation for what Sean's wife does. Orlando says Denise is a draw for the show. It's about numbers. Let's go ahead and mute Denise again. I guess we should actually talk about the show. Yeah. You're still muted, Denise. I'm not unmuting you. WWE Monday Night Raw. It starts off with Riddle backstage saying that, or actually, it's not him. It's Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville saying that Orton can't be there. I'm working to find out if this is real, if it's a work. We got super chats coming in for Oliver. People love him.
You're welcome.
At this. What kind of voice work does he do?
You're welcome again for the super chats. If I hadn't buried Oliver and his confidence, the people wouldn't have felt the need to cheer him up via super chats.
Come here,
you're
Oliver.
Very welcome. And yes, I am money hungry.
Come on, Oliver. It's okay, buddy.
Oh, we're going to do this the whole show.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a Raw review. What else are we going to do?
I'm going to get a dog just to have it come on here and outshine freaking Oliver.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen. The intangible one says, Denise, cats that kill. Pretty sure dogs hurt more people per year than cats do. And I love dogs. I have 2 of them. Both of them are rescues because I'm a good person, unlike Denise, who probably shops and buys her dogs for like $500-$600.
I'm not going to bring in pets into my home. I like a clean home.
Wow.
And I like a peaceful, quiet home with no pets.
Look, somebody's even complimenting my cat's handwriting. Denise versus Oliver at WrestleMania. Insert my way. Hi, Sean. Hi, Denise. How was Raw tonight? I thought Raw was all right. I thought it was pretty good. 2 straight weeks, Denise. We got a good Monday Night Raw. What the hell is going on?
You want to know why? You want to know why, Sean? Because every other post show dipped out, and we're the last ones left. And they were like, "Oh, come on, like let's give a little something. Let's throw a bone."
We're rewarded. We're rewarded. My wife just picked up Oliver. Wish she would have turned on my air conditioner on her way out, but it's a little too late for that. Night Track says that you have better opinions when you're muted, Denise. Jamie Miles says, was traveling today and missed Raw. Yay, nay, or may? I'm going to say yay. I'm going to say it was a fun show. There was a lot of really good wrestling.
I'm going to agree with that. I would give it a yay, 2 thumbs up for sure.
Well, people don't agree with you. They say that you're a hypocrite. Doesn't Taylor Swift own a bunch of cats?
Her cats are on another level, bro.
Didn't she play a cat in a movie?
I don't compare any rant. And I was actually waiting for somebody to bring this up, by the way. I don't compare any random cat from the street to Taylor Swift's glorious cats, okay?
He's not from the street. He lives in my house. And not only that,
that they're like rescue.
He has his own cat cottage within this house, too.
Okay.
He's got his own
cottage. Is that like the little tower with the little balls?
Kind of. Do
each of your cats have a cottage?
Yes. Well, 3 of them. We have 3 cat cottages. They share them.
Which is your favorite cat?
Brandon Charles Powell says Raw on the rise, SD declining a bit. I would be inclined to agree. Raw has been better than SmackDown the last couple of weeks, I think. Although that Hell in a Cell that Reigns was in was really fantastic.
Yeah, if this is a seesaw, it's definitely Raw. I would say the last 2 weeks has been just a little bit stronger than SmackDown for sure.
So we have Riddle saying, hey, I'll replace Randy Orton in this last chance battle royal to get into the last chance qualifier. I thought this was fun. He presented this letter that was very clearly forged, written by him. He drew a snake. Riddle has been consistently the best thing on this show for quite a while. Bobby Lashley's up there. Kofi's up there. MVP's up there too. So maybe I shouldn't say the best thing, but he's been consistently a good thing on this show for quite a while. And it's like Randy Orton as a character loomed huge on a show that he wasn't even on, Denise.
Exactly. And see, here's the thing too, is that like the thing with Matt Riddle and why it's actually working is because, okay, fine, just mute me. I still get paid either way. You can mute me. I'm still on a flat rate. I still get paid no matter what. If I get muted, it's actually better for me. Anyways, but the best thing, the thing that I was trying to say here is that what they've been doing with Matt Riddle actually makes sense. Where like you can make little connections here and there to little things that were said or done in, previous segments on previous shows. And we see a continuation of that, in the following weeks. And I like that. I mean, that's like the number one thing that people have been asking for is just things that actually make sense and for them to actually remember, something that was said or done on the previous weeks.
So basically, the first 20 minutes of this show comprised of this promo and the Battle Royal in which Riddle won. Some notable stuff in here. Damian Priest is back. We reported on FightfulSelect.com last week. He was not injured, at least anymore. There wasn't an injury that's keeping him out. It was a personal thing, and he was slated to be back this week. He was back this week. That's great news. I was kind of hoping that he was going to win. But given how the story played out tonight, Denise, I think everything went well. I'm okay with Damian Priest getting eliminated from a Battle Royal. Anybody can get tossed over a top rope. I don't see any harm there.
See, here's the thing, too, about this is that I would have, if, for example, if I was the one putting this together, I probably would have been like, yeah, let's totally go with Damian Priest. Like, Damian Priest is the guy to do this. But however, looking at everything in terms of the story, that they are currently telling right now, it definitely made a lot more sense for Matt Riddle to actually win this. And obviously, based on the events that unfolded tonight, it was definitely the right call. But even just the fact that they at least had, Damian Priest and the, final 2 men there, I think that, that was obvious. He's just making his return. Let's at least get his, feet wet a little bit and, hey, kind of go from there.
Somebody asked if I could see Riddle win the WWE title. Yeah, I could. I could definitely see him winning the WWE title. So let's talk about a couple things I didn't like about this match. I hate the 1 foot hopping around outside the ring thing.
Come on. I like that. When Angel Garza did it, I thought it was funny.
It's so lame. I hated it when Leva Bates was hopping on top of a book and all that. It's a little bit different when it's like an office chair or something like that. But the 1 foot hopping around on the floor, it ain't for me. And I don't like Omos being able to just walk out and yank people over the ropes. I've always hated that just because I love Royal Rumbles. And I'll say this, at least they had Jinder eliminate Viking Raiders. Because if it was just Omos, I'd have been like, just let him back in the match. He wasn't in the match.
Right. They actually had Jinder eliminate quite a few people in this Battle Royal. So that was a little bit interesting there. But I did like when Amaz tossed Ivar into the ring, into the little screen there. I thought that was pretty funny. That was a good spot there. But see, I actually like the little moment that Angel Garza had with his, 1 foot there. The reason why I like that is like, hey, like, we hardly get to see this guy. There's a lot of people in this battle royal that we barely get to see. We might as well have them have some sort of special moment. And if anything, I thought it actually made it fun. And I prefer that over just a bunch of guys kind of just like, hitting each other and, looking over and trying to see when it's their time to be eliminated, or just waiting on the ground, waiting for their turn to come up. Like, I hate when I notice stuff like that in battle royals. So I'd rather have like these, shenanigan things happen than that.
Yeah, I thought this was a fun way to kick off the show, and I'm a sucker for battle royals anyway. Seth's a sucker for cats, says that you're a heel. And then we have somebody who does not know their history saying, sorry, SRS, Denise is right, dogs are better. Look at Adam Blompiade. He marks out for any good boy doggo. He marked out for Oliver the cat on the air multiple times. Thank you very much. Jamie Miles says, Halloween idea. SRS is $1 Million Man. Denise is Cameron Grimes. Jeremy is LA Knight. I actually dressed up as $1 Million Man for the Fightful post show 2 or 3 years ago. Denise?
Sean, I actually feel like you would be Cameron Grimes if you were a millionaire. Like, I feel like that would be like your vibe that you would put out there.
He's very relatable to me in that sense. And if I were a millionaire, that's how I'd be.
I see it. Every time he comes out, I go, yep, Sean, if you were a millionaire, right there.
Like I said, I know that was a shot, but it's completely accurate.
I didn't mean it as a shot.
I don't disagree with it.
I meant it as a compliment.
When he said, I realized when I got money, I could treat everybody really bad. That was like, I was like, brilliant. I love it. That's incredible. Oh, that was so, so good.
Now I feel bad.
We have Shane.
Greenlight is the debit card and app for kids and teens. Now with investing. Investing is key to building long-term wealth. And with Greenlight, your kids can learn to invest at any age. They research stocks to buy, invest as little as $1, and you approve every trade. Track progress over time, and learn about the world of investing together. Ready to invest in your kids' futures? Visit greenlightcard.com today for your free month trial.
Naya and Reginald discussing Shayna's loss to Alexa. I don't care. I really don't care. But Nikki Cross is cutting a promo, and she is like kind of got a new name. It is Nikki Ash. Nikki Almost a Superhero is the acronym there, or the whatever. What do you think of the new name Halfway? Because they kept calling her Nikki Cross. Nameplate said Nikki Cross. They called her Nikki Cross a bunch on commentary.
Are we sure it's officially her new name?
No, we're not at all.
I don't think it is. I'm starting to think it's just Nikki Cross, but it didn't really feel like it to me.
So the common point that people kept bringing up is Karrion Kross is about to come up to the main roster. And WWE. This is not like AEW where there's Page, and yeah, all that. They're like, we can only have one Shane, pal. You got to change your name to the Hurricane. Like, that's how they do things there.
Yeah. I got to say, though, that this. So remember, so last week somebody brought up the whole promo that she did on Raw Talk, right? Because that usually goes on when we're doing this show. So I ended up watching it afterwards, like the actual clip, and I loved it, right? Like everything that she said and the way that she came across, I thought it was perfect. But that being said, I thought this promo was not good compared to what I saw her do on Raw Talk. I thought this one, she was trying to get out like a certain inspirational quote or something, but it didn't come across that way. I almost felt like she was sort of stumbling through her words during this promo. So this wasn't the very best, I think, like follow-up promo after this, big reveal of this new character. And also, okay, so did she have a new mask or did she just do something different? Because the mask looked different to me, and I don't know if it was maybe because last time it looked like they had layers, and I don't remember the stripes on the mask last week, but I didn't go back and look, but the mask definitely looked different to me. I don't know if it was her makeup that she did it differently or the actual mask itself, but it looked so much better this week than it did last week. But with that being said, they need to make a cooler mask for Nikki Cross, because if they're going to market her to like children and whatnot, I think a cooler mask would be a lot better.
Make one you can sell.
Exactly.
Which one you can sell? Kate Hensler says, like Billy Gunn, I'm an Ash man. We have a cover of that song up on youtube.com/Fightful. The match itself was solid. Alexa Bliss comes out, and I don't like the hocus pocus stuff, but this isn't for me. This is for little kids. The whole thing is. The Nikki Cross thing is for little kids. This hocus pocus stuff is for little kids, and maybe it works for them. But what I do like is when Alexa Bliss starts throwing kicks at people because her offense is looking real good. And I loved Nikki flying off the top rope onto everybody. That was really cute. And I love the La Magistral cradle that she did. It was a work of art. I am a sucker for a good pin. This was harmless to me. It's whatever. I know that this is not catered to a person like me. So whatever.
Here's my question. Are they going to do something with Nikki and Alexa in both of their new roles? Like, is that something that because I almost feel like they're heading that direction. And I'm wondering if they're going to like pair them up to be like this odd couple.
I think so, because they've got history. And I think that would make a lot of sense, at least to do. It wouldn't make sense within the context of their creative whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, because they're doing in theory, they're doing two totally different things, but it's almost like put the weirdos together because they used to be best friends and now they're both weirdos.
Rob Reed says, I was pretty fine with Nikki Cross. Ash tonight. Match was good. No distraction finish. Alexa dick kicking Reginald was fun too. It was. Also, the Ash thing is very clearly, it's like a play off of Rosie. Like maybe even an homage to Rosie, who was a superhero in training, if you remember. Before he was a full-fledged superhero, they made him a shit. I thought it was all right. Sure. Why not? Oh, boy. This Kofi Kingston MVP promo. Wow, this was good. This was incredible. We've got some super chats about this. We don't usually get a ton of super chats about this stuff, but we did this time. Ian says, MVP and Kofi was the type of segment that would make me beg my mom to buy a $50 pay-per-view when I was 9 years old. It was awesome. Ryan says, do you think it was a coincidence that MVP name dropped Brock tonight? I don't think that would have made it on TV unless something was happening. No, I do think it was a coincidence. I don't think that Brock is as close to coming back as people in WWE thought a week ago or 2 weeks ago or anything. I don't think he's as close as they want him to be. But I think that it's maybe MVP's way of trying to goad Brock back. I think he's hoping that Brock hears about it, Denise.
Yeah, I feel like there's been several of those occasions where you don't know that something is officially set in stone, and then all of a sudden you hear like either your name being mentioned or like something being mentioned. Who was it? Oh yeah, it was Christian Cage. Remember when Paul White did that whole thing on AEW? Afterwards, it was Christian revealed on, I think it was Renee's podcast, where he said that at that moment he hadn't even signed with the company yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just like a little thing that I remembered.
Oh man. Intangible One says, wasn't Rosie's shit one of the stupid things that made Goldberg quit the first time? If that's what made Goldberg quit, he needs to go outside more often. That thing was fun. Rosie was very fun in that. He was completely lovable. And maybe Goldberg should have watched the reaction when Hurricane and Rosie won the tag titles from La Resistance. Rest in peace, Rosie. Goldberg can get over it. Nerd Guru says, my idea for the last show in the Thunderdome is to have Bayley and Seth burn the place down literally while cackling like supervillains. What say you? That would be very funny. I'm ready to see the Thunderdome go away. But I think that they won't do that. They don't look at the Thunderdome. It's like, oh my God, this miserable thing. What they want us to look at the Thunderdome like, Denise, is award-winning, innovative, super high-tech, connected us with them type of thing. I don't think it's going to be like a miserable thing for them.
Yeah, I think that is, especially the way that, they've always been introduced, like every show, we're in the award-winning Thunderdome. I can't tell you how many times we heard that. And so for it to afterwards be like, we're smashing these things. And plus, I'm sure that, I don't know about like that type of area of production, but I'm wondering if maybe they can reuse some of that stuff for something else that might be cool or something down the line. I don't know. I'm sure that they could use all of that high tech stuff.
And before we get into the Kofi MVP segment, Injection says, I want a full-on Batman-Joker feud between Bliss and Cross. I don't know if Denise is going to agree, but I'm really into Piper. She's my favorite. We'll get to Piper in a minute. What do you think about Bliss and Cross going like face and heel? I think like Nikki is pure enough to think that she can make Alexa good.
That would be cute. That's not something I'm totally opposed to. I feel like I've seen or heard worse ideas, and that's not too bad.
And then this Kofi and MVP promo, now we can actually get into it. Brett says that was the best part in the show. He said he would love to see me as Cameron Grimes sometime. This promo was so good. It was simple. It was Kofi being honest and relatable and genuine and caring about his friend and saying, you know what? I beat you before. My friend didn't beat you last week, but he put up a great fight. And Drew did. Instead of Drew complaining, it should be this. It should be Kofi bringing it to our attention. It's always better if somebody else does the complaining for you, then it doesn't look like you're bitching and moaning about it. So I thought this was a masterfully laid out promo, and it was MVP trying to minimize all of Kofi's accomplishments, all the stuff that we know that he worked so hard for. And even more, Denise, that we know MVP knows that he worked so hard for, because as Kofi said last week, he was sitting at the bar, blubbering like a little baby when he won. Oh, this was masterful. This was really good stuff. And then Kofi caught MVP milking the injury, hit him with a Trouble in Paradise. Masterful stuff right here. This was a great segment.
I can't disagree whatsoever. I thought that, I mean, right from the top of this, Kofi comes out, and just the way that he's speaking, it's just so calm, straight to the point, and it comes across as emotional, but without trying to overdo it, without doing the faces and the tears or whatever, you feel you need to do to bring that emotion out. It was just plainly there. And, him talking about Xavier Woods and how people were always, not giving him any credit and all of that. I thought that all of that stuff, it rang true. And so because of that, it kind of made it so much better. When MVP first came out, I didn't think that the first portion of his delivery necessarily matched the level of Kofi Kingston's. But then afterwards, when they sort of, went back and forth, I think that MVP definitely fed off of what Kofi Kingston was saying and, what he was, he was feeding off of him, and that energy ended up getting so much better. There was a moment, because the entire time the camera shot was MVP and like all like the women, right? But then there was this moment where they like tightened up like right on MVP's face as he was just like, going off, and like that one little subtle like camera movement, I thought absolutely sold everything like so much more in a dramatic fashion. But I loved everything. I thought that it just got the right emotion, and it kind of made Kofi Kingston feel like an even bigger star. And I think that's a lot of the things that, obviously people, like him and they know that he can be a star and all of that stuff, right? But actually seeing it today in this capacity, in the way that he did this promo, I think that it kind of reminded a lot of people that he could either do this stuff, or if you didn't already know it before, maybe you know it now.
I think that's a great summary of what we saw. Rob Reed says MVP Kofi was one of those moments that reminds you why you love pro wrestling. There was a lot of stuff on Raw tonight that did that for me. This is why it's so frustrating and angry when Raw sucks, because we know it can be this. We know it can be good. That's why it's so frustrating when almost anything on this is good. Brutality, we read it as we get to the segment. Your super chat, if you're wondering, oh, where's my super chat? Well, let me see what it was. It is about Riker. We'll talk about it during the Riker segment.
Fun. That's not one of the moments that I would say that I necessarily thought humped on this show.
You know what's fun? Denise, are you getting a pair of the SRS ones?
Huh?
The SRS ones. Look at those.
Oh, they're beautiful.
They are beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Printed leather.
Ooh, I love those the color, the splatter.
Ooh, yeah. It looks just like our YouTube frame. Go to GOI Kicks, my friends. They make shoes for like a ton of pro wrestlers. So I'm giving them the plug ski because they're making the SRS ones. Look at those.
I hate what this is going to do to your ego. I can't handle your ego anymore.
Man, they've made shoes for Kofi and Ray and Shane Helms and Moose and Eddie Edwards, you know, a bunch of people. And me. And me. I didn't have to beg them or anything. Frank Aguilera.
I'm literally terrified for when you hit 100K. You are going to be unbearable.
Why?
Unbearable.
It was really depressing to hit 80K on the day that I hit, because I'm like, I understand what it's contingent to. I don't like that I get a bunch of followers because people lose their job. That's kind of sucky. But no, I will. When I hit 100,000, I will just thank you. Only you, Denise.
Sean, I'm not going to be able to handle it. I might have to send in my retirement notice.
I will thank Denise Salcedo for getting me to 100,000 followers.
Sean, I can't.
Listen, I would give you about 80,000 of them if I could. It is a fucking terror to me. Frank Aguilera.
Now you're being like those bougie. Like, have you ever heard like celebrities say like, "Oh my gosh, life being famous and rich is like so hard." Like, homie, calm down. You're rich and famous. Like, what the hell? Okay. You're literally sounding like that person. It's so hard to have 80K. It's so hard to have 80K on Twitter.
I'm so rich and famous. Listen. If your big ass head,
you're making it seem like it's bad to have 80K on Twitter.
I'm going to send you a message that I got this weekend.
Oh, okay. Like a negative one? So
I wouldn't
what?
I wouldn't even say that. It was more of a proposition.
Oh, like
it was
like a naughty proposition?
I don't even know. I don't
like is it too much for the Dong Lord proposition?
Yeah. Yeah, way too much. Way too much. Somebody asked where the Oliver ones are at. You know what? He does look like the kind of cat that would wear little shoes. He does. He would wear some high top Jordan ones for sure. Anakin says Sean does talk up his new contract a lot. Don't know what you're talking about, buddy. And Joel says, don't tell him about our DM, Sean. It's where I tell you how much you can invoice every month. Zach Connor says, for some reason I'm getting a feeling Riddle is going to win Money in the Bank. Could see him in a boombox type skit with the briefcase. I don't think that'll hit for him. I think it'll be something besides that. I mean, if you mean comedic, I think that could happen with him, Denise.
What do you mean? Like adding a boombox to his like
a stereo system to his scooter. Like that could be funny or something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely work. Yeah. Especially because all of that type of stuff is like for like the cool kids and whatnot. Like if you go to the mall, like all of that stuff is like so popular.
Yes, I did. It was gross.
You got an indecent proposal. Sean, you're just teasing the people right now.
Did I ever tell you about the Vince Russo story?
Maybe not.
I told this maybe on Select, maybe on a show one time. So when we started Fightful, one of the people that Jimmy hit up was Vince Russo to do shows with me. We had really good chemistry, all that. Didn't work out. He left after a few months, whatever. One of the biggest mistakes in my life was making my Snapchat name my name, because then people just type it in, figure it out. I've got a different one since then. So I'm in the middle of a show and it's like ping, 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 ping. I'm like, what's going on here? And it was just some random sending me a message. And I was like, I'll see what it is. Denise, it was a giant dick. And it said, quote, fuck Vince Russo. Now, I had not worked with Vince Russo for like 6 months at this point. For like 6 months. And I blocked the person, but before, I mean, it was huge, Denise. Before,
wait, is this a compliment?
I was like, listen, with that thing, you probably won't have any trouble, bud, and blocked him. That
wait,
thing
you
was
complimented his junk?
Pretty much. Listen,
why did you do that?
There's no way it was actually theirs. This
How
was
would
like,
you know, Sean?
There's no way. And
you
if
don't know what people are packing?
Evidently not. Maybe I'm either giving this dude too much credit or not enough credit. It was disgusting. It was unreal. And like there were no exclamation points or anything. It was just like this mediocre fuck Vince Russo. And I'm like, man,
was he holding it?
I can't really remember. Yeah, I've done a lot of blacking out. I've done a lot.
I was going to say, because if it looked like a good size, chances are he was holding it up to like make it look better.
Jesus Christ. Now, the DMs
on your
that I
face
got
is matching your shirt now.
the DMs that I got on Instagram were more disturbing than that.
Oh, Instagram is really weird.
And it didn't offend me. I was confused by it because I try not to open up my requests folder for obvious reasons. Like it can be bad, but sometimes I missed honest to God DMs. I missed a DM from Josh Barnett saying, "Hey, do you want to interview some of our talent for Bloodsport?" And this is like a month later. I'm like, "Damn it, yes, I would love that." But
you should do like a video on that. Like those videos are so popular. Like I opened up my like Instagram DMs and like you don't have to say the person's name. You just read the message.
It was, I mean, that was the first time like I got something like that sent to me directly based on my job. Now it's not that rare to have somebody saying like something really weird or oddly personal or perverted or some shit like that. And I mean, hey, you know what? I sell dick pills. We sell Dong Lord shirts. It's going to happen. I'm a big boy. I can deal with it. I was not prepared for it.
Yeah, but can the big boy deal with the big boys?
Kenshiro says that the origin story of the Dong Lord.
That's true. Did you steal somebody else's gimmick?
Evidently. My confusion was like, Vince is on Facebook, Twitter. He's got his own website. He's got his own paywall. Why aren't you sending it there?
Well, now you imagine what his DMs look like?
Oh, God.
Well, that's very interesting.
Oh, God. Brutality saying Sean out here calling bluff. The show is great. I mean, Monday night with Denise and the Schlong. Dirt sheet, man. All proposals should be indecent. Like, I mean, I can handle it. It's just like, oh, my gosh.
Wait, so when you get an Instagram DM, so like, you know how it says like if somebody sends you an image, you actually have to accept to see the actual image. Do you accept or do you just like not accept?
Almost never. If it's in my request folder, almost never do I do that. Just because. And it's like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm too good to open up your message. But that Instagram started off as just like my Instagram. You've seen it. I don't post a lot of my own shit there. But then it's like, Wrestle Talking, Parts Fun Known, and Inside the Rope start tagging that. And I was like, no, there it goes. And I went from like 300 followers to 4,500.
You see what I mean? Always bragging about your followers.
You got like 20,000.
Yeah, but I'm not bragging
you
about it.
You were trying to get me to stream with you, and I don't have enough followers to stream with you.
You already committed.
Yeah, but I don't have the qualifications. I'm not famous enough, Denise.
You just didn't do it right.
No, I legit don't have the option. But people are here to listen to us review Raw, not review dick pics. I don't know. Actually, I think they probably are after that.
I think we'd get better ratings if we reviewed dick pics.
Maybe. Oh, my God. Naomi and Asuka lost to Doudrop and Eva Marie. Eva Marie says last week Doudrop made a bad decision, and she's going to learn her lesson. Well, she tried to drop out on Doudrop. And it's like, why didn't Doudrop just assume this was coming? Now, I'll say this. It made Doudrop look strong. She's looked strong 2 straight weeks. That's cool. I'm all for that. That's fine. But it's like, why wouldn't she expect this, knowing what she did last week, Denise?
See, that's the problem right there. You just said it. Like, in theory, you're supposed to like Doudrop. You're supposed to want to root for her and be like, break away from this evil mean girl. Like you leave Regina George and you go like you do you, right? But instead, I feel like it's doing quite the opposite for me. If anything, it's making me think like I'm not going to root for her. Why am I going to root for her? It's making her unlikable. Like, why would I want to root for her if she's not standing up for herself? Like, grow a backbone already. It clearly bothers you. If this was something that didn't bother her and she was like oblivious to it, then all right, whatever. But this clearly bothers her. So for me, I'm just like, you've seen enough movies. You know that she's using you. Stand up for yourself and, be your own person. Dang. So yeah, I just feel like it's making her unlikable. And I didn't like any of this. I thought this whole thing was like thumbs down.
Rob Reed says it's going to be a good pop when Piper drops Eva in front of a crowd. Well, to me, it's already obvious. She already dropped down off the apron in week 1, Denise.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they rushed this. They should have at least given it a bit where, like, she finally started to get, like, irritated by Eva Marie. But it was, like, within the next week, she was already irritated.
Seamus is on Raw Talk says, Denise, a dong pick expert? Denise Dong Lord?
No comment.
Mike, like a newbie, says, I don't know if Denise is the bad influence on Sean or Sean on Denise. She is definitely the bad influence on me.
No, definitely not.
I've tried to tame things down on this show for a long time.
Wait, so you're blaming me?
You made me tell that story.
I didn't make you say anything.
Denise is muted. Music and Moonsalt says, had to make a hard choice between my two fandoms tonight. And the Kiss documentary won out, but look forward to hearing your recap of Raw in the morning. Well, I appreciate you coming by and supporting us anyway. You guys can support us over at FightfulSelect.com. But you can also support us and leave fulfilled like I am every morning with Magic Spoon. Growing up, cereal is one of the best parts about being a kid. You wake up on your Saturday mornings, you watch your cartoons, you get a bowl of cereal, you have a good time. But then when you get older, you're like, oh, wait, that stuff's not that good for me. It's full of carbs and sugar and junk, and you probably shouldn't eat it anymore. But Magic Spoon makes that better. 0 grams of sugar, 13, 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving, and only 140 calories per serving. I've been eating a bowl every morning. I dropped about 15 pounds in, I think it was 4 or 5 weeks, and I've been able to keep it off with Magic Spoon, making me feel way better. And I'm filled up, too. It's not one of those things where you run back and forth to the cupboard. I even posted on Twitter today. I legit have like 8 or 9 boxes because I switch it up, eat a different flavor every few days. You can build your own box or get a variety pack with cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, and cinnamon. They have so many other flavors like jelly donut and birthday cake. They also have a peanut butter chocolate flavor now, which is the two mixed together. That's been my favorite. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. And you go to magicspoon.com/Fightful. Grab your delicious cereal. Try it today. Use that promo code FIGHTFUL at checkout. Save $5 on your order, and they're so confident in their product. It comes with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you try it, if you're like, you know what? I'm going to listen to Sean Ross Sapp. I'm going to listen to Dirt Cheap Boy. Does he have the scoop on cereal? Well, yeah, I do, actually. And if you don't like it, if you're a smarmy jerk, and you're like, ew, I don't like this, or you pretend to not like it, you know what? They say, okay, whatever. Our product is so good, we'll give you your money back. But you're not going to ask for your money back. Let's be real. Magicspoon.com/Fightful. Micah says, Dong Lord and Dong Drop.
Please, I do not want to be Dong Drop. I hope that's not me.
Dong Drop. I love it. G'day from Sydney. Would you possibly be looking for any new writers? Love both of your work. We're not like actively hiring, but you can always send an email with your samples, resume, all that stuff to Sean@Fightful.com. I do keep them on file. That stuff does help an awful lot.
I will say this, though. He was very smart to send that in a super chat because now he can tax write off it. Can you?
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah. Asian Joe says, too bad you didn't get refer Manscaped to those DMs. Buddy, it was taken care of. They spent a lot of time on it, too much time for somebody that sends that kind of picture unsolicited to a stranger, which is why I think it wasn't them. Riptide says, who is better, American Alpha or Team Angle? I think Team Angle got the better push. I liked American Alpha a lot more.
I liked both, but I'm going to go with, you know what? I got to go with American Alpha, I think.
Yeah. Guys, please leave a thumbs up on this video. Intangible One says, Sean corrupted Denise so much he broke her forbidden door and now has created a monster.
That's true. When I came on here, I was like, I'm going to be so professional. And, I'm going to be like, I'm going to make a good impression on everybody. and I'm going to behave well. And then turns out nobody liked me. And then I started being funny and people liked me. And then that's what happened.
Nerd Guru says the Dong Lord and the Dong Duchess.
Oh, dear God, no.
I mean, I think it's a Dong Drop. What?
No.
Somebody says you Dong dropped your ex-boyfriend for her fiance? What?
Wait, go back, what?
What?
Denise dong dropped her ex-boyfriend for her fiance. Oh, this is in regards to a story that I told on Wrestle Talk about my ex-boyfriend. And Luke, Luke literally like quizzed me. He was like seriously like trying to get the juicy details out of me. And I was like, no, bro, like you ain't getting the juicy details.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, Denise the Smoke Salcedo is now Denise the Juice Salcedo. I want the details.
There are no details.
Give me the scoop.
But there is no details. There's nothing to tell.
Is he a piece of shit?
Who, my ex-boyfriend?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do you not know?
Years ago.
You don't know if he's a piece of shit. I know your fiance is, and he seems like a wonderful fella.
Here was the story. Okay, so I told this really quick. I'll say it really now. Okay, so I was dating. Okay, so the whole story came out because of my yearbook post. Remember the picture that I posted in my yearbook?
Yes.
And I was telling Luke that there's a great picture of me with my ex-boyfriend on my other yearbook because I look really good in that photo. And so Luke started asking me about my ex-boyfriend, and I felt terrible because I had to tell him that guy took me on my first date, but he didn't pay and he didn't drive, and it was terrible. And we also, I forgot to add, we also ran into his ex-girlfriend while we were on the date.
Oh.
So, and the other story was that he essentially, like, this girl liked him, and then, like, he said he didn't like her back, but after we broke up, he ended up doing it with this girl and knocked her up. So that's, like, the story there. And even though he told me he didn't like her, he ended up getting this girl.
It sounds like he was dong dropping.
Yeah. So that was the story. That was it. That was years ago.
And people doubt. How dare any of you doubt when I report something? At this point, it should be fact. Look what I just got out of Denise Salcedo. I got out of Denise Salcedo that her ex-boyfriend is dong drop. Fightful exclusive.
Technically, can we give that to Luke? Because Luke's got all the other details. Like, he managed to get all those other details out.
Well,
I think you're stealing a scoop now.
You know what? After all the scoops that Wrestle Talk reports of mine, like a week later, I think they owe me one. Norm Summer says, "Smoke Juice and the Dog Lord, buddy comedy of the summer." So somebody sent a super chat and said, "Sean, because of you, Rhea Ripley is literally the troll face meme." Remember what I said a couple weeks ago, Denise?
I remember.
That's what she did. Now, before this, we got an absolutely abysmal promo backstage where they're like, "We are all second and third generation wrestlers. Yeah, and I do not like this cheap shot that we got. Yeah, and I already beat this one." This was bad dialogue. The match was fine, but it leads to Rhea Ripley pulling a Charlotte on Charlotte and then being like,
perfect troll face. Yeah, this was not good. Like, overall, I know you said you thought this was fine or whatever, but I just thought this was bad. So at the start, they all get started doing this brawl, and this is nothing on them, but this is literally on the cameras. There was a moment where Natty was punching someone. I don't even know who, because every time she punched someone, the camera would like flip from side to side. And it got to the point where I was like, what is even happening in this brawl? Like, I can't even tell you who Natty was punching. I can't even tell you that. Okay. And I just thought the entire match was like, it was messy. It was just all over the place. I wasn't feeling this. I'm not feeling the story here. Like, I wasn't feeling it since they started it, but now it's I was kind of hoping we would drop it for a second or at least do something different. And that's not what we're getting at here.
The more that you kind of brought that up, the more I agree with you. I think maybe I tuned it out because I knew it was going to happen. It was going to lead to a finish, and then Rhea was going to get one up on Charlotte.
Yeah. See, there was a match that I tuned out, and I'll tell you which one it was later.
Ian says, "We all love when you get sidetracked. What would it take for a weekly show that revolves around anything but wrestling?" I think that would actually be really good. Maybe we'll do that one day. Anything's possible.
You keep saying that, Sean, and then you don't do it.
It's got to be.
We need to have a morning show.
Just I don't do mornings.
Sorry.
I don't do mornings.
What time do you wake up?
I mean, I'm up in the morning, but I'm not in my pink shirt in the mornings. That's for damn sure.
How much money does Jimmy Van need to give you to do a morning show?
I don't know, a lot. Isaiah TV says cats are better than dogs and Easter is better than Christmas. All this and more this week on Uncultured with Denise Salcedo. say no.
Okay, so first of all, I said dogs were better than cats, and Easter is totally better than Christmas, and I will stand by that.
Oh, amazing. Brutality says, hey, Shawnee Boy and Denise, Raw wasn't too bad this week. Really enjoying Kofi and Riddle storylines. On Raw Talk, Riker let Truth borrow the strap. Oh, boy. The imagery around that is a little too uncomfortable for me, Denise.
I was cringing the entire time. I'm sorry.
I mean, like, everybody sees it. What, are we going to sit here and pretend like this guy hasn't said some borderline racist shit and he's walking around with a strap slapping stuff? It's not good imagery. And I know I'm going to get some comments where people say, get over it, snowflake. I don't care. I don't care about Jackson Riker. I don't care about the Elias character. I don't care about this feud. Fortunately, at least in the world of making sense, there was no 50-50 booking. Riker beat his ass with the quickness, and it was done and over with. The match wasn't anything to write home about, but this was awkward.
I didn't even write notes about this match, so I'm just going to tell you everything based off my memory here. And first of all, everything surrounding this, even before the match, kind of had me with some not anxiety, but I was kind of just like, oh God, please don't let them say or do something that is going to be like bad here. And there were some things that were being said on social media about Riker's choice of colors of gear. That was a topic that was amongst the IWC, and I thought that was pretty interesting. I just thought that I went back, actually, Sean. I went back on his Facebook post and read some of that stuff, the BLM stuff that he said. And I will tell you, like, rereading, like, I read it once when it first came out, and I read it now. So a lot of time obviously went by. And I was just kind of like, oh God, like how and why? And, just a million thoughts on that. But I tuned out this match. I didn't like it. It just wasn't like, I get it. Like they were supposed to have Riker come across as this guy who's like, feels no, or is going to do all of this to be tolerant of the pain. And I just dropped something, but he's going to be tolerant of this pain, this and that. And instead this came across as just, please get off my TV screen. And I hate to say that, but I'm sorry, but it's kind of like, you did you, and now that's just out there in the open.
You made me not care about you.
Yeah, and
Congrats,
honestly,
you played yourself.
Honestly, I do not know what kind of reception, or at least I'm curious as to what kind of reception he is going to get come live crowds, because let's be real, like things have changed. People aren't necessarily going to, just pretend like they don't know.
Exactly. Orlando says Raw was good tonight. Only bad thing was Elias and Jackson. Don't understand it and don't want to. I can't help but to agree. Rob Reed says Raw was good, at least outside of Riker. Yeah, primarily. Rob Reed says, why would you give the guy whose gimmick is that he's a musician a generic butt rock theme that you give everyone else? That's a very good point. I loved his NXT theme. It rocked. It hit hard. And they gave him this trash.
I'm sorry, but Elias just deserves so much better. Like, for the most part, he's an entertaining fella. I feel like he could be doing some other stuff. I just kind of feel bad that he's sort of been bogged down in all of this.
Guys, get your super chats in. We are heading down the home stretch of this show. Little heads up, Jimmy Van will not be here this Wednesday, so I'm going to do a show. I think Jeremy might join us. I don't know. He indicated that he wanted to. We're just going to talk about whatever you guys super chat during that period. So make sure you guys check that out. And
Sean can't afford Denise Salcedo for another list than your girl.
You're always so busy.
Face? What was that face? That face meant something. I touched on something there. In fact, I think it might be worse.
Whoa. Calm down.
Everybody saw that. Everybody saw that.
I'm doing a make good for Jeremy offended. Because the last time we were supposed to do a show and it got cut way short because 20 people got fired. So
I'm sorry, but I do not care about Jeremy's feelings or how he feels about whether or not he got screwed out of time.
Nerd Guru says, weird how they kept both women's title feuds the same since Mania on both shows. Fairly obvious they're being saved for Becky and Sasha, right? I don't think anything's fairly obvious anymore with them. I don't know what direction they'll go for necessarily anything. it's a matter of who they can get to come in and what kind of booking they'll adjust to, because some of these people are not going to come back for terrible booking, Denise.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's talk about one of the fantastic matches on Raw, Ricochet versus John Morrison. Backstage, John Morrison, I loved his promo about The Miz. He goes, "The Miz may not be the strongest or the fastest." And then he just stops. The Miz is like, "But," I thought that was good. And then Ricochet held them up with a drip stick. Whatever. Again, this was not for me, but I'm like, whatever. A water gun. Who cares?
I mean, I just thought that this match was a whole lot of fun. They did a lot of fun stuff throughout this match. I mean, I already expected that because, this isn't necessarily the first time we've seen them go at it, but they did a lot of different stuff, or at least I feel elevated their game just a little bit. And then obviously, with that finish with Ricochet literally flying into a whole other world. I mean, it was insane and it was fun. And even though this ended in a count out, it doesn't bother me. And the reason for that is because it was a cool way to sort of, I guess, end an account. If you're going to do a count out, you might as well do it like this. Is what I'm really trying to get at here.
Yeah, this was set up by that big body press, and there were people that were talking about, oh my gosh, the crash pad. I don't care if the crash pad there. Oh my God, I saw the crash pad there. Who cares? This spot ruled. This spot was so much fun. They were good. They had great chemistry. John Morrison has never been better in totality. It's been just a blast. Ricardo says, Ricochet rules. Shock horror. Richie Goodacre says the Ricochet spot was amazing. They don't do double count out too often, though. That's why I liked it here. And Denise, I was okay with one of them losing this match for a few reasons. One, they both already won to get into the match. So I'm good with that. And then you put two people against each other. One's got to win. One's got to lose. Now, I would be okay with that, even if the loser went in to win Money in the Bank, because it's climbing a ladder, grabbing a briefcase. It's a lot different than knocking somebody out, pinning them. There's a lot more flexibility with the booking here, and they still found a way to have a really good match. It didn't have any stakes whatsoever. It built a little bit, but it had a fun finish as well. I really like this.
Yeah, exactly. I think I feel the same way because even there was the wheelchair spot was pretty cool too. And I kind of found the way, I feel like they successfully found a way to use the Miz where he doesn't come across as annoying. Like he hasn't been annoying to me on commentary. So that's a plus within itself.
Rob Reed says Johnny Mundo versus Prince Puma was awesome tonight. That's a good shout. Richie Goodacre says Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler deserved better. They did. Yes, they both got fired, and the guy that got the heat did not.
I don't know.
Somebody says you look like Miranda Alizé. Is that a wrestler?
I don't know who Miranda Alizé is.
Yes, that is a wrestler. I don't think Denise looks like her. Miranda. I was gonna say Miranda or Alizé has like red hair. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. People are always telling me I look like someone, and I'm just like,
yeah. I watched her in the Mae Young Classic, and she did some AW Dark stuff against Britt Baker. I don't think so. Intangible One says I don't want Sasha near the title anymore. Can't support the anti-vax and anti-mask stuff she's been posting. She hasn't been posting it. She's been liking it, but still, I don't agree with it. Ian says the history behind strapping should have stopped these matches a long time ago across all brands. Be creative, create a new similar gimmick. I agree, Denise.
Yeah, it's not really, I don't know. I think in order for me to get into it, it has to be like a whole story to even get remotely interested. But just like this, the way that this was put together, not so much.
Cyclops says justice for Jeremy. Point God did nothing wrong. No, he didn't. He's
Jeremy's just an easy attack.
Look at Knox saying SRS is a very relatable babyface. He's getting his own custom-made shoes known from a well-known company, just like the rest of us. Do the clap.
Oh hell no! I can't get behind this babyface.
Getting the crowd on my side.
No, I'm gonna be that one person that does not want to get behind the babyface.
SRS. SRS. I want everybody in the chat to send it. SRS. SRS. Come on, guys. Let's go. We can do it. All of us together. We can do it.
Sean, don't quit your day job.
I'm here for all you people. This is my day job, Denise. Thanks to all you people. I couldn't have done it without all these people. SRS. Look at this, Denise. Look at, oh my God. Denise. SRS.
People just want to get their comment read on here, so they knew that. They knew if they pleased your ego that they would get their message on the screen.
That will absolutely do it. That does it. If you appease my ego and you do exactly what I say, steal your mother's credit card, subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. I will get your question or statement read on the air.
I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't handle. I can't. I do not know. I have no words.
Main event. Oh, boy. This match.
I was going to say, why would you make that face?
Listen, whatever that person said to me in an Instagram DM, that's what this match did.
Wait, that's what?
I'm still confused by it. But the suggestive, odd thing that came to me in an Instagram DM, that's what this match did to all of us.
Wait, did somebody want to hump you?
That would have been way too tame. This match was so good. And at one point, I sat there and I was like, this still has 10 minutes left in it.
Oh, God.
At 10:50 Eastern, it was like building this crescendo. And I was like, oh, my God. And this was to highlight Matt Riddle. This match was a spotlight on Matt Riddle. That being said, Drew McIntyre threw some of my favorite suplexes I've ever seen in this match, where he would pick up Matt Riddle from a curled position and he would just heave Riddle. And it was, he even said on the Bret Hart documentary that he lands Bret Hart style, which I loved. This match was so good. Tyler Joseph Smith says, Conrad spent $60K on a butterfly robe. Your thoughts? He's got the money. More power to him. It's worth what you pay for it. And Rob Reed says, the Rossamaniacs are behind you. That's all I want.
I was about to say, who are the Rossamaniacs?
That's all I want. Each and every one of you behind me is what I've been craving for so long.
Go get a flag and start waving it. Oh, my God. Go get some tassels, Sean. Oh, no. Okay, well, Sean's gone. You can go ahead and follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram @ Denise Salcedo. And Sean is back. Oh, the Manscaped flag? Oh, I don't think
SRS. SRS.
I blame
SRS. SRS.
The people are to blame for this. I blame the people. I don't like babyface SRS.
Listen, people love it. Look at Chris Reigns. Asian Joe says, I could see Riddle offering his Money in the Bank spot to Randy for feeling like he let him down. Also, Drew seems out of place with the rest of the Money in the Bank competitors. No, I disagree. So Drew won this match, but Riddle hurt his foot. And boy, before we get to the Drew thing, wow, Riddle sold the hell out of this foot injury, Denise. He was like, I broke it. I know I broke it. It hurts to move it. I think Riddle might be the best seller in wrestling right now.
I mean, where do I even begin with this match? Dang. Okay, so first of all, this match was pay-per-view quality. I stand by that. I really do think that this match could have been on the last pay-per-view or whatever, because it was really, really good. Like, they all went out there. And Sean, that is very distracting as I'm speaking.
You're supposed to be a professional. People
just want shout outs. Anyways, so I thought that this match was like hard hitting, literally Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles. And this is just, I'm focusing on them too right now because they have this undeniable chemistry together. And there was a moment where Drew McIntyre literally just grabbed AJ Styles and was like pounding him. Like, I think he got him on the glass. He got him on the like 3 different portions of the ring. And it was during that moment, I don't know, man. Like, if I felt Drew McIntyre became Roadrunner, because that guy was like here, and there. I mean, he really picked up this intensity, and I thought that just like AJ Styles literally bumping left and right for him, all of that really worked out together. Obviously, then you have the incorporation of Matt Riddle in this match.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just top notch. That moment where Matt Riddle got himself on the steel steps with his foot. Oh man, I feel like everybody watching felt that. Like, you can feel that like echoing like back at you.
Everybody stubbed their toe. So they know what that feels like. And then Matt Riddle barefoot kicking a piece of steel.
Exactly.
Then him coming back, I think, added so much to the match.
I didn't think he was going to come back.
Either.
A lot of that stuff is usually like, oh, you can see it happening in hindsight and all of this. But I honestly didn't expect him to come back. I thought this was just going to be a way for him to not, have to take the L here. And so, when he came back, I just thought, okay, well, they're making the story so much better. And he's also not looking like, I wouldn't have said that he looked like a geek or anything by essentially being taken out this way, because I thought it was a very legitimate way to essentially be taken out of the match. But just the fact that he came back added so much more to who he is. And I mean, I really liked everything that they did here. And like, even though I said that I didn't want Drew to win this last match, I didn't care. I can't complain about anything that was done here, because this was thumbs up.
Rob Reed says the only reason I could tell the Riddle injury spot was a work was no X thrown up. You can also tell when the camera absolutely follows them that it's a work. Injection says it's gimmick infringement. No, we got sent a flag too. And look, you have fans. Micah Newby says Salcedo.
They're literally my fans. Rock.
Bryant Heath says, I've missed the story being the center of the show. Riddle's journey to help his friend was great. That's the thing. Riddle's playing a good babyface because he wants to help out somebody that he thinks a lot of.
We didn't even talk about that. The fact that he was, getting into like, he was pretending essentially to be Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Like, even that was a whole other layer that was added to this match, where it's kind of like, I don't know. There was just a lot of depth, and there was a lot of story in this.
After his win earlier in the night, he said, play Randy's music. And he did the pose and got shocked by the pyro. That was so good. Steven says, is Vince backstage high on Riddle? Pun intended. Vince has been high on Riddle since they had a sit-down meeting towards the beginning of last year. And from what I understand, he brought Riddle in and said, you got heat with Goldberg and Lesnar. And he said, so what, bro? And Vince was like, goddamn, pal, that's impressive. So that is not verbatim. That's just what I had heard. I heard basically like, oh, those are 2 guys you don't want any heat with. And he's like, let them have heat with me. If they want to make more money with me, they'll be fine. That's the type of stuff Vince wants to hear. Right. Cyclops says, we cheer the face and boo the heel on this channel. That's right. Don't try to get yourself over. I would never try to get myself over. I don't try to do that. Orlando says the main event was great. I hope Riddle never gets his foot injury. He's getting better and better each week. I think he's the best performer in North America right now in ring, like that I watch on a weekly basis. I'm not going to say his character is better than Roman Reigns, but his in-ring work is as good as anybody's, I think. Rob Reed says, Riddle doing the lock and key bit popped me. Yeah, he talked to Damian Priest backstage. And I love that Damian Priest, a babyface, was like, listen, we're buddies. Everybody knows we're buddies. They seen Chronicle. He's lucky to have you as a friend. That was a babyface move right there, Denise.
Right. I like this whole backstage interaction with Damian Priest and Matt Riddle. And also obviously we're just seeing, Damian Priest come back, but that was one of the things that we were seeing consistently with him all the time. Always, being backstage, being like the cool guy that makes sense. So I kind of like him doing this with Matt Riddle.
Richie Goodacre says they'll kill Drew's popularity if he wins Money in the Bank. So Denise, what I think they shouldn't do, they shouldn't have Drew win Money in the Bank. That's because I really think he should go on the downward spiral. I think it should come down to Drew, and he's right there. And then somebody, maybe a babyface, maybe Ricochet. Maybe Ricochet costs him that. Like he's about to unhook it, and Ricochet flies out of nowhere and takes him out. And neither one of them win it. But then somebody else does. And then Drew is livid. And then Drew goes off. And Drew is mad about Ricochet, and that gives you a program.
Man, I don't even care what they do with Drew right now. I just want to see Drew versus AJ Styles. Like, I know we've seen it, but like, I want to get like an actual story, like in a pay-per-view or something. I'm sorry, but based off tonight, I need to see that, but like on a pay-per-view.
Valab says, do you think they'll sister wife the Money in the Bank winners by putting them on both brands? I got no problem if they do to some degree. If they establish that that's a golden ticket, I'm okay with that. Just establish it. Make it clear. Make it known.
Beforehand.
Yes. I mean, or even if they say afterwards, they're like, listen, they can decide which champ they want to face. And as a result, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville have given them lenience on appearing on both brands. That's all you got to say. It's a scripted show. I only follow the rules that you have presented to me, scripted show. And I don't think that would be lazy, Denise, because it's a Money in the Bank.
I think so. They just need to get creative with the Money in the Bank. I'm really open to whatever they decide to do. And if they let it be something where it's like, okay, it could be on Raw or SmackDown, I'm cool with that.
Nerd Drew says, still don't like Raw, even though the in-ring work was good. The winner of today is Jungle Boy. Yeah, he was a winner.
Yeah, he was.
He was a winner today.
Did you see Jake Atlas's tweet?
I did.
That was hilarious.
Brandon Charles Powell says, Denise, you'll always be SRS's favorite number 2. Now acknowledge him. I took at least 2 number 2s that I liked way better than Denise today. Bogan says,
I do not want to be on your favorites list. Definitely not.
Well, you're always a number 2 to me, Denise. Knock Bogan says, dipping in to show my support. Got to start the stream from the beginning. Riddle was enjoyable for the bits I saw. He was great. He was really great. And Matthew Mikovsky wraps us up by saying, my pick is Big E, but my question is, if Big E wins Money in the Bank, does he cash in successfully? And when does he cash in? Maybe SummerSlam. What I would like, Denise, is for after Big Bobby Lashley beats up Kofi Kingston, here comes Big E with Money in the Bank, and he's like, one of us is taking this. And Big E gets his moment at SummerSlam in Vegas. I think Big E versus Bobby Lashley is a hell of a WWE title match.
That would be good. I just hope whoever does win in the Money in the Bank, if they're presented well, I think should actually win.
Yes. Guys, thank you all so much. Don't forget, Alex Palowski has a post-NXT show. Diamond Mine debuted last week. If you guys know the kind of wrestling I like, I love that type of stuff. I love the catch point-esque type of thing. We have a bunch of news on it, including Arturo Huas, Marina Shafir. They were supposed to be a part of that group. They ain't in WWE anymore. FightfulSelect.com has all those scoops. Matthew Mikovsky says, what about Brock? What about Brock? I mentioned that earlier. I don't think they're as close to making a deal happen as they wanted people to believe. But we also have the post-AEW show. It's back on Wednesday this week. So tune in for that. Tons of interviews. A special show on Wednesday afternoon where we answer just your super chats. Denise, what do you got going on?
Tomorrow, I am dropping an interview with Tommaso Ciampa, so I'm really excited about that. That's coming out tomorrow. And I just dropped an interview today with Cody Deaner, so that one's a really good one, too. So just a lot of that stuff coming out. Obviously, a bunch of shows, all of that. And you can check that out on Twitter and or on Instagram at _Denise Salcedo, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo.
Cody Deaner is a very entertaining guy. He's been around for a very long time. He's done a variety of different things. I love how his path is sort of, I don't want to say emulating Eric Young's, but he went from a comedy guy.
That with me. Yeah.
Went from a comedy guy to a very serious guy and is now in a group with Eric Young. Make sure you guys check that out. Fightful.com, shop.fightful.com. We have some new designs up there, and also fightfulmag.com. Until next time, guys, we're out.
I asked my doctor to write a note saying I suffer from cabin fever so I could write off my summer vacation as a medical expense. She said no. Fortunately, Red Roof's clean, comfortable rooms are very affordable, and you wake up rested and ready to hit the road again. And get this, when you rest and repeat at Red Roof this summer, staying 2 separate times can earn you a free night. Cure your cabin fever at redroof.com.
Pretzels.
Look.
What, Chips?
Look.
Who's the new guy? Fanta.
I think he's looking at me.
Pretzels, you got it twisted. He's looking at me.
Stop being salty, Chips. We both got a chance.
Shh, he's coming over.
Ladies.
Hi.
And hello to you.
Back at you, handsome.
Fanta picked beef jerky?
Girl, we're gonna be here a while.
Fanta, the perfect partner to snacking. Fanta, it's a thing.